Oh. Whoops.
There we go.
Hold on. Stop that. I accidentally hit the wrong place to record it. I was like, what is going on here? Oh, come on. There we go.
There we
Now we're
go.
good. Hey, hey, hey,
Yay!
hey. What's up, everybody's? Hey.
Early morning hijinks. Yes.
I guess you could call it hijinks. I would probably call it, like, you know, still trying to wake up. I don't.
It's true.
That it is. It has been a long week for everybody. Thank you for making it work in the morning, guys. I think we are pretty excited. And this week, there really isn't a lot of nerd news. So we're gonna mostly just talk comics and stuff, and the fact that I still have to drive like 45 minutes to work. And then work till 8, and then drive and pick up Justin, and then drive to Baltimore. So for those of you who will see me in Baltimore, we'll see at like 1 a.m. Well, 12, 12:30. Depends on how long we stop to get gas and whatever. See how crazy Breezewood is. It'll be good. Anyway, as you can tell, I am doing the show from my downstairs today because my wife is upstairs in her office, and I don't want to accidentally get killed by talking too much in the next room. So I'll talk underneath her. You're up there. So anyway, um, so for you who are not going to Baltimore, don't forget Saturday is Batman Day. We have a couple cosplayers to come out to the mills. Um, they're gonna be there for you to take pictures with. There are the Batman books, including the new Long Halloween Zero prequel book.
Yep.
Make sure you check that out. Uh, next week, you will find Justin and I at Hall of Fame Comic Con in Canton on Saturday, and then I think the only thing we have after that is warehouse sale mid-October. Oh no, we have local comic shop day at the end of the month. Jeez. So we have guys like Dan Noakes setting up at Pittsburgh Mills. We have Comicsburg setting up at Waterfront. Uh, and then we're gonna do half off dollar books. And then if you spend 25 bucks or more, if you missed free t-shirt day, you have another chance at free t-shirts. So come check those out. It's gonna be a good time. Uh, and then later in late end of September, beginning of October, Ted Sikora from Tap Dance Killer is going to um, he's going to be at the Waterfront and the Ohio Valley store. So come check it out. It's gonna be a good time. I promise. Lots of cool people to meet, lots of new stuff to read. It's gonna be good. I promise you. It'll be good. Anyway, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Look, see, I remembered early.
There we go. Hey, we do really have to push ourselves a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. And then I don't think it's next week. It might be the week after. I gotta double check. Brandon from Dismay Comics will be on. Um, I think it's next week. Might be the week after though. I can't remember. My days are all screwed up. Mostly because I've been to two concerts this week, and Justin was at the one with me last night.
Mhm.
So on Tuesday I went to see Dashboard Confessional with Boys Like Girls. Um, which, weirdly I knew more Boys Like Girls songs than I thought I would. Um, and then Megadeth last night was excellent. It was very good.
Mhm.
Mudvayne was the middle guys. They were very good. My only thing with them, I think, is that I don't know if I like the vocalist live. Like,
He's
like
de
he's
they are he's really good at the small venue. I think he tries to scream more for a stadium size, large venue
Mm.
like that. And
Well,
it
I
really
would call it like a
sucks because
medium-sized venue, but yeah.
but it sucks because it doesn't show his range that he normally has that you've heard on studio,
Mm.
or even when you're in a small, like I saw them when Metropole still existed,
Jeez.
and he was brilliant. Like he didn't
Uh,
scream like that,
yeah.
but I think he gets so excited he wants to reach everybody through his vocals. Even
Yeah.
though he has a microphone, there's speakers that reach us anyway.
Right.
That's just the way he is, I think. I think that's just
That's
his
cool.
mentality. So I do appreciate them like getting back to their old school with the painted face or wearing masks or whatever they were.
Yeah.
It was hard
That
to
was
tell
cool.
because we were far back. It was really hard to pinpoint if it was a mask or if it was actual paint. I'm
I think it was
assuming
a
just a
mix for
mask.
some of them, but yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I appreciate it.
yeah. And then All That Remains was actually not bad. They seemed to me they were reminded like what did I say? Like they were like a slightly more emo version of like Cradle of Filth.
Yeah,
Like they're not quite as melodic as like Bullet for My Valentine, but they're very I'd probably put them in that similar
yeah. Well,
kind of thing.
they all came out. All That Remains came out about the same time. They were one of those early aughts.
Yeah.
Uh, what is it? Metalcore bands, and I I don't mind them. They're not bad. I think I had their first album somewhere like at one
Right.
point. So
So what album cover of Megadeth is your favorite?
it has to be Rust in Peace.
I do enjoy Rest in Peace. I think it's pretty good.
I think it's
Um,
like with their leaders back in the day, like
yeah.
surrounding him and Vic with the what is it, the triangle or the diamond he has in his hand, and the cryogenically frozen dude in front of him. I love that artistry of that one. That's the one that I think that was my first Megadeth album. That's probably
Um,
why I have such an affinity for it.
yeah, I mean that is a pretty good that's definitely up there. I forgot about the cryogenically like the fucking
Yeah,
frozen body there.
yeah.
Um this gonna sound terrible, but I think mine might be Euthanasia.
Euthanasia
Is
was pretty
like
good
because
too.
this is like the
The
fucking
old
try
lady
line. It's just
with
putting
all
up
the
kids.
babies. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is this?
It
Um,
is
although
a
so
little bit
far so
messed
good,
up.
so what is also very good. With like the
Yeah.
Vic as the like the stormtrooper
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah.
Stormtrooper slash Terminator, a Terminator-esque
Eh,
type thing.
I
Kind
think
of
it
a
looks more
combo of
like
all of them.
yeah, I think it looks more like a some kind of like trooper, like army guy, but
Yeah. Yeah, because he's carrying
yeah.
like a giant Gatling gun and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
yeah, for
problem with
sure.
that one is it's blurry as hell. So it's not very crisp.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
Agreed.
that's my knock on it. And I understand it was probably meant to do that,
Right.
or like whenever they first printed it, it wasn't supposed to look like that, but they're like, screw it, it's out. You can't change it now, you know.
Right.
So
I mean, the
yeah,
only other one that
that's
I thought was kind of cool was I actually really enjoyed the Risk one only because it was hilarious. It's like the mouse like in the mouse trap.
yeah,
So I enjoyed it. Um yeah, I just kind of wanted to tie in art and music and stuff today. So
yeah. Like
all right.
cryptic writings really didn't have anything.
No, it
They,
was very boring.
yeah,
But all right. Well, since we're kind of in a crunch, we're gonna just we're gonna start talking about comics now, I guess.
okay.
And boom. Come on. There we go. Me first. How about that?
Yeah.
So my first book is Resurgence of the Valiant Universe Part 1 by Becky Cloonan. Um and This book was really kind of cool. It was kind of like a we're gonna kind of give everybody a little taste of like the Immortal Brothers and kind of what goes on in the Valiant universe and how they're a little tied together. Like the Far Away was in there. It starts out with Eternal Warrior and his like partner um trying to find where these weird portals to the Far Away keep opening. And at some point like a giant T-Rex comes out of there and tries to eat the Immortal War or the Eternal Warrior and uh he kills it, obviously. And as she's trying to shut it, or no, sorry, Savage actually kills it. Um, and Savage is like, "Hey, like these holes keep happening in my land. Please stop them." And he's like, "All right, well, we'll see what we can do." And then she's like, "Wait, there's more bad things that are happening? What?" And then it kind of cuts to these other kids. So there is a one of the bad guys. Um, can't remember his name offhand right now. He basically made everybody in the world immortal, so like they can't die. So they're like, "All right, man, you're gonna ride this bike off this cliff, and you're gonna fall down there, and you're gonna die, and then you're gonna come back to life." And the kid's like, "Okay." So they like uh fucking TikTok it. He does. He gets back up, walks away. Kind of crazy. Um, and then uh Flamingo is resurrected. Uh, and like they kind of make a plan. Silk. Silk is the main bad guy that's making everybody immortal. Um, there's a cool Shadow Man part, where Shadow Man's like, um, I don't know why people aren't dying. This isn't right. We're gonna find out what's going on. Ivar and uh Armstrong are in like a weird like space station thing, trying to find out where more of these portals are, and they have like a discussion of why people shouldn't want to be immortal. Livewire's trying to embed herself in the camp of Silk to find out what's going on. Um, at some point, Eternal Warriors like um companion gets kidnapped, and um the hell is her name again? Um anyway, um someone someone helps him out and is like, I'll be your new companion to one of the other geomancers. I can't remember her name right now. Um the kid goes into school the next day and talks about how, not dying is fine. And then cuts to Faith. Like it's hopping around everywhere. It's crazy. Faith saves a bunch of like construction workers from dying because a faraway portal opened up and a volcano was spewing magma, liquid hot magma into the world. Ninjak fights a dude, kills him, and the dude just puts his head back on and walks away. So they're kind of in this, like I said, space station. It's actually called Bob, the Biosphere Oversight Base, which I found funny. Um, and they're kind of trying to figure out what's going on, and they have to figure out where Divinity is. So they talk Exo Manowar into flying out into space and searching for Divinity. So this is the first time like I've seen in a long time where the Valiant universe is like collecting itself, and um it does go a little fast. Like if you don't know who the characters are, it's a little bit rough. Like it'll be a little bit rough for you, but for the most part, it is pretty good. So I'm gonna give this like, I'm gonna give this a three cheese omelet, uh, with an uncooked potato as its side because I feel that this book could have been stellar had it just slowed down a little bit or was a little bit more conducive to more people that um wanted to read it. But all the parts work together, but it's just not very introductory. So if you know the characters are good, but that's how I'll leave it. So
Okay.
yeah, is
All right.
that the
I
right one?
decided to go a little bit out of my wheelhouse here a little bit. And the cover caught my eye. That's why I picked this one. It's Lilith. Uh, we get it, and it is black, red, white monotone. Like there's the only three colors in this book. So that was kind of cool. So we get introduced to Lilith, a demon who models. There you go.
Cool.
Um, and it basically kind of shows like the misogynistic douchery that like the director and the directs models and stuff like that. She's like she's like, you don't know who you're messing with, and he's like, I know exactly who I'm messing with, a whiny brat. And I'm just like, and then you're reading it and you're like, okay, I see where this is gonna go. uh, but she actually has an agent who kind of says, look, let me talk to him, let's get this straightened out. And uh she meets him at his place as part of the agreement. uh she basically eats him alive. That's got figured that's where it was going to go. But kind of deserved it because he was a douche,
Hmm.
who apparently likes essaying his models. So there we go. You get what you deserve. Uh, um, as she clean, it's kind of she you goes through her little backstory here of I'm not from of this earth, but I can't go home. Um, apparently she has a pet that cleans up after her. Uh, this cat creature just looks like a pretty little kitty, but then when she activates its ability, it turns into this monstrosity kind of thing. Finishes off her meal, what's left. Um, as after she's leaving this guy's house or his apartment, uh, wouldn't you know it, some uh douche tries to essay her in the alley. And before she goes and
Mm.
kills him, you see this giant book smack this dude right in the head. And this girl grabs her and they chuck it. And of course, this girl's like, "Oh, she's like, I saw what that dude was going to do to you." She's like, "I had to do something." And, it, she was like, in her mind, she's like, "Are you stupid?" She's like, "I could take care of myself, But, it is what it is. She doesn't know who Lilith is really. Um, but she takes her back to her, I guess it's either her place of work, which is like an old bookstore. Um, and this girl's getting on her nerves. Very ditzy kind of character, kind of a cross between like a combination of Velma and Daphne slammed together, uh, with the clumsy of she looks good, but she's clumsy as hell.
Yeah,
Um, so she spills like
like
coffee
Velma.
all, yeah, yeah. So she like spills coffee all over and stuff. I think she was just as nerve-wracked as any human would be. She's about to kill this girl. She's like, okay, I'm just gonna kill her because she's getting on my nerves. But before she does, she sees this black grimoire book, and she's like, wait a minute, I what is this book doing here in this shithole little library? And that's kind of where it leaves off, but you have a feeling that this book is the book that she's been looking for to get her home. Um, it, it's interesting. Like I said, it's very easy to kind of uh, see where this is going. But the
Hmm.
art is very nice. It's a beautiful art. Like even though they're only using the three colors, the detail, uh, using the red and the white to add wrinkles in the black, as you can tell on the cover here. It gives it's very detailed. It's very nice. Um, the story is, like I said, predictable, but it's not the worst story I've ever read. Uh, I'm gonna give this just scrambled eggs, a couple pieces of bacon, like nothing spectacular, um, but nothing bad either. It's kind of that middle of the road with the art being above average. So
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about Valiant, sort of.
yeah, yeah, it was like, I was like,
Like you had
it's
so much
not.
potential.
Yeah, this might be like this might be this sounded to me like a less interesting version of Mercy Sparks. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it is kind of only like a demon that's actually killing people. So, I was like, okay, not bad, not bad.
Eh, it is a vault book, so it's 50-50 on whether it's going to be amazing or not.
Yeah.
So cool. All right. My next book is X Factor number two.
Mm.
So this book is slightly better than the first book, slightly. Um, most of this book is Havoc and Polaris. Because Havoc has joined the X Factor team, which is now like a reality show style superhero team, and Polaris is now pretty much trying to form a new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Um, not not in the style of being evil, but in the style of mutants fighting for mutant rights, right? And she feels that Havoc is not doing that justice by being part of X Factor. And so he goes and like talks to his people and he's like, well, I'm gonna be the or they're like, you're gonna be the leader of the team. And he's like, all right, cool. And he's like, and this is Pyro. He's gonna be your lieutenant. And he's like, really? Really? Pyro? Uh which was actually quite funny. Then they meet with the general, and the general tells them that somebody is leaking their work to um the mutant resistance, and they show a picture of Polaris, and they're like, "You don't think that's me? Because I'm not doing that." And he's like, or they were like, "We didn't say that, but we're gonna give you this button camera that does 4K streaming, so we can just basically watch everything." Well, cut to the pool where everybody else on X Factor is there, and um, oh man, what is her actual name? This is the film. Let me see. Uh, Granny Smite decides to just walk into the pool and drown herself. And they're like, "What's going on?" And they like go and save her and she's like, "I can't die. That's my mutant power." So I just try to find new ways to die and check it out. I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Jeez.
So that was kind of interesting. So then Havoc goes with Polaris to this meeting. It is really funny because he makes this joke about, um, don't you think this place looks suspiciously like the Hotel California? Um, and I was like, that's probably because they used it as reference. Um, so they go into the meeting and they talk about how they have to fight for mutant rights and all this stuff. And the main guy, who is speaking will like gives his backstory, and it's about how, he basically looks like a dog, or he looks like a not a dog. What the hell is he? It's like a almost like a sloth. Um, but he ends up like being put in a circus when he was a kid because that was the only way that he could find something that worked. And then all of a sudden they start kind of going after Havoc, and he's like, "What is this? Is some kind of intervention?" And they're like, "No," and they're like, "We don't want you to be a double agent. We want you to quit X Factor." And he's like, "No." So, um, once they find the button cam, um, all hell breaks loose. Somebody tries to put their hands on Polaris. Havoc shoots, and it's funny because they do kavoosh, which I thought was a cool onomatopoeia for that. But then Polaris like throws a giant statue at somebody. X Factor shows up to save them. They split, and Polaris is stays with the mutant resistance, and that's where it ends. Um, I thought it was good. It reminded me a lot of um like it's a weird mix between like the X Factor, the last not the last X Factor, the one before that, where Gambit was running the team and they were like a government team and he had a bunch of cats. Do you remember that one? Um,
Yeah.
so it reminded me a lot of that with like where it's like it doesn't feel quite X Factory. Like it doesn't quite feel like an X book in general. Um, so this book has me torn because I don't know if I really want to keep reading it or not, but I do, but I don't. Like I'm just like, man, this is such a weird vibe in this book. But I just it needs to start picking up on the next issue for sure, or else I'm not gonna read it. But it's just very slow. Um, so with that, I will give it uh I'm gonna give it Eggs Benedict with um with a very carbonated seltzer water. And why I say that is I feel like this book has a lot of bloat in it. Um and I think if we can get through that, it'll be fine. But I really just hope it picks up on the next issue. So, by the way, I almost read this book, but then I was like, I can't take Justin's thunder. He's been waiting for this book forever.
I have actually, and actually, it did not disappoint.
Mm.
Violator number one. This basically starts out as the origin of Violator and also the origin of the Battle of Heaven and Hell. Um, and it starts out as he he was an angel named Basil. And I guess this is basically the way Lucifer kind of tricked him into choosing his side over God's.
But what
Um,
does that mean, Basil?
yeah.
Sorry.
But he ends up kind of he does end up choosing Lucifer's side because Lucifer saw God creating man, and that made Lucifer pissed. Because of jealousy. It's age old. The art was done very well in this as well. This was beautifully done, well handled. The story flowed very well, which is very unusual for McFarlane at like to be this easy to read like this, without like some deep implications. This was very straightforward. Um, so he basically kind of betrays his partner, because he did have a partner. I forget what her name was. I didn't write it down. But he was supposed to be, I guess, like angels unite. So I guess he got he betrayed his love. He betrayed the creator. So you see him get swatted down to hell. and the transformation from him is from Angel into the Violator was kind of cool. Um, like I said,
So
overall
is that what he looked like before when he was an angel? Like, is that what we see on the bottom half of the cover?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Basically, they're very, uh, unisex. Like there was
Yeah.
no sex. It just they were just beings with wings, uh, various hairstyles. He just happened to be bald. Um, but yeah, it's kind of sad because it's you feel for him a little bit because he was just basically a dude that got suckered. Is
Mm.
basically the gist of it, and this is only like the start. Um, but it was cool seeing how they Lucifer's plans for rebellion was them embracing this dark power that would give them this really cool armor, which I think is the beginning of the Spawn symbiote.
Mm.
So cool. Uh like I said, this is fun. This was give me what's the best one I ever had? Give me a Eaton Park strawberry giant waffle with extra whipped cream. That's how good this was. This was if
Ooh.
you are a Spawn fan, you always kind of wondered about the Violator and this, that, and the other. This is do not miss on this book. This is definitely I think this is going to be the crown jewel. That and Rat City are going to be the two big books coming out of this new Spawn universe for this year.
Cool.
So yeah, that I was like, I added it to my subscription. Put
Well,
that in
it's also only
there.
a six-part series, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. Whoop. I
Oh,
apparently fucked them up, and you have to do two in a row.
okay. Well, this
Sorry,
one
my bad.
this one was okay. This is the deep cut number 3. We left off with Wolverine finding out that the bunch of marauders he was fighting were clones. So this kind of continued him battling the clones. Um, but as he's doing this, um, I guess the OG Sabretooth wakes up in his tube
Mhm.
and breaks out. And it's a lot of monologuing from Sabretooth in this book. It's not so much a Wolverine book as it is a Sabretooth book. And it's him monologuing about he actually kind of compliments Wolverine of it's basically always just him and like those two together, like battling. He's like, whoever
Mhm.
gets in our way, we just decimate. And that's exactly like what was happening throughout the book is Wolverine continued just beating the clones repeatedly, killing them, dismembering them, getting rid of them out of the way. But as he was doing this, Sabretooth was, of course, doing his little um, evil plotting that Sabretooth tends to do. Um, and by the end of the book, Wolverine thinks he's done. Well, Sabretooth gets him in like a Cobra clutch kind of situation. And he turns him around, and you see the the original Marauders, and they have been set free. So that opens it for the next book. Wasn't a lot of dialogue in this. Like I said, it was a lot of monologuing of Sabretooth with his thoughts. Um, the fighting was cool. Like the whole fight scene throughout the book with Wolverine taking on the cloned Marauders was fun. Uh, but again, I'm gonna kind of give this like a give me an uncooked blueberry pop tart for this one. It's not as
Okay.
it's not as bad as oatmeal, but I was expecting more, especially with the first two issues being very a little bit more like a little bit more I want to say story driven, but fun at the same time. This was just, it seemed very blah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the art was still excellent. It was moving the story along a little bit. This was just kind of, I don't know, seemed kind of unnecessary. It felt like it was, you were just drawing a really cool bunch of fight scenes, and we're like, oh crap, we forgot to add monologue. So they
Right.
just kind of shoved the monologue in. Um, that's why I'm giving it a stale blueberry Pop Tart, because nobody likes blueberry Pop Tarts.
I like
So,
blueberry Pop Tarts.
uh,
I don't like cherry Pop Tarts. Cherry Pop Tarts are gross. I don't like cherry really anything. So,
yeah,
but
blueberry was always the one that was, especially when it got stale. Oh,
oh
oh,
yeah, well that's different. Like
yeah,
fresh blueberry one though, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
yeah.
All right. So my last book is Dazzler #1.
I figured you were gonna go with that one. That's why I didn't
Not gonna
touch it.
lie, this book was fucking awesome.
I was almost
Like,
half expecting seeing a Taylor Swift variant in a Dazzler
well,
outfit.
I mean, they didn't do a Taylor Swift variant, but they made her dress like one of the things that she wears in this issue is one of the outfits that Taylor Swift wore on her last tour. Um, so it's pretty cool. Like, so there's multiple reasons that I like this book. The biggest reason is the fact that it's basically the X Factor team that I loved is her stage crew. So like all the multiple men and strong guy. Shark Girl is her drummer. Um, so they have to bring her in through like a box, and everybody thinks that she's still coming in through the loading dock. Um, she comes out, everybody's building stuff. It's awesome to see all the dupes like just being road crew. And then Domino is actually her head of security, and Wind Dancer is her PR person. And Wind Dancer's like, "Hey, we need to talk. I need you to not do mutant powers as much as possible." And she's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, people get weirded out about it now that Krakoa's gone and we're out in public. It's weird." And she's just like, "Well, what if somebody attacks me?" She's like, "That's what Domino's for." And Domino's like, "Yeah, that's what I'm here for." And I'm just like, "Oh God, where's this going?" And then they also make Shark Girl wear a thing where like it changes her appearance. Like it's one of the things Nightcrawler wore. Um, so Dazzler comes out in her full on, like classic #1, the suit you see there. Um, no roller skates though. No roller skates. She comes out and does her song. Um, and while she's singing, Scorpina decides she's going to attack her. So they have this kind of fight on stage without getting too crazy, and eventually she takes her down. Um, and uh, After she takes her down, she goes and does a costume change. She comes back out in the way more um, Taylor Swifty looking outfit. Um, like I don't know if you can see that, but that's it. Where like the one leg is like not part of the suit, and the one arm is not part of the suit. And she sings a song about being out and proud as a mutant. And then their press goes nuts because she used powers on stage. So it's going to be interesting. I just really like the cast in this book. I thought the first issue was very good. It reminded me of like if you guys read the IDW Gem of the Holograms book, it reminded me a lot of that, which I thought was fantastic. So I'm giving this book like this gets like a full tremendous 12. It's awesome. Um,
Nice.
I really, really enjoyed it. It's got music, it's got mutants that I love, it's got all kinds of stuff, and it moved quickly, which was good. So I really recommend checking it out for people who like Dazzler. So all right. Uh yeah, I mean that's pretty much all we have this week. Like this is not a
Yeah.
super crazy.
Well, what we got? Agatha Harkness is coming out this week.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we'll be able to talk about that next week for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and what else comes out this week? So you said something yesterday, and I'm trying to remember what else, what other big
I know it was Agatha, and then there was the Penguin.
the
The
Penguin
Penguin comes out this
comes
week too.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that comes out tonight. Yeah, this evening.
Yeah.
So we'll be on the road, so we won't see that.
Correct.
So
Correct. So, um, yeah, I'm just like quickly looking at the ridiculously long Baltimore Comic Con guest list. And I'm like,
yeah.
man, who do I? Because I'm still on that. I only have like 15 minutes to make the call of am I taking a guitar to get drawn on or not. And so part of me, I can't figure out which character I want on it though. But part of me was like, oh, Russ Braun's going to be there. Maybe I'll have him do Terror on this black guitar because Terror's a white, bulldog.
Yeah.
Um, and then I could just call my guitar "Fuck
Well,
It"
if
from
you're
now
gonna
on.
do guitar, why don't you just make Dazzler since,
No, no, um, no. But there are some really great people that are going to be there. Um,
Yeah.
like Mark Brooks, I could have him do like Spawn on the side. That'd be kind of neat. Uh, Jim California, I can have him do Aquaman on there. Let's see. Richard Case, I could have him draw Robot Man. That'd be kind of neat. Or Sandman on there. That'd be kind of cool. Uh, Howard Chaykin, just do whatever he wants. So here's my guitar. Draw what you want.
Have him draw Todd.
No. Uh, Amanda Connor, I could have her do Harley on there, but I don't really like Harley that much.
Yeah,
Although I could never do Power Girl, but I got to figure out what would be good because it's a black guitar, so it has to be something that would look well on white.
yeah.
Um, I could have Trish draw one of my dogs on
I was
there,
gonna
but
say, is Maria? Do you think Maria Wolf might end up being there?
I don't
Because I
see
think
her.
yeah, she wasn't listed last year, but she came in last year anyway.
No, no, no,
She
no, no,
was
no.
like a
Last
last minute.
she's not. She wasn't on the big list. She was on the Artist Alley list, which
Uh,
is different. Let me see if
okay.
she's on the Artist Alley list. Oh.
Because if she is, I might be
Nope.
able to get my Shadow Man book from her.
Nope.
Damn. I guess I'll have to wait to New
Sorry.
York.
Yeah, I was like, Shadow Man would be cool to have on my guitar, like especially newer looking Shadow Man.
Yeah.
But I don't know who would be willing to do that. That's at the show, so I'm just
Bob
gonna
Hall's
not worry.
there.
Yeah, I think I'm just not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna bring it. It's like just an extra, just pain in the ass to put in the car.
Plus, you know what's going to end up happening is you're going to have to shove your car full of boxes anyway.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to play guitar for people, and I don't really want to do that either. So, but all right, cool. Well, we're gonna head out because I got to get to work and then pick Justin up and then drive a long time to Baltimore. So, yeah, we will see you guys next week. We should be returning to normal time next week.
Yes.
I don't think I have anything that would be weird. So, but cool. We'll see you guys next week and hope you enjoyed the show. And if you're in Baltimore and you see us, high fives all around.
Yep.
So, all right. Catch you later.